Welcoming one and all to this afternoon Division III women's soccer edition here for the Concordia Chicago Cougars this afternoon, as once again they are at home here at Concordia Stadium live in River Forest, Illinois, of course, on this very bittersweet day for women's soccer on September the 11th, 2021, the 20th year anniversary, unfortunately, of those who tragically lost their lives in the 9/11 attacks 20 years ago to the day. A very fond and nice moment of silence before today's game, before we begin action, as the Cougars will take the field in their home whites and they will welcome in the visiting North Park University Vikings. North Park University coming in at 1-2-1 to this afternoon action of soccer today, and the Cougars are looking to get into the win column, and this being their fourth game to start their season. They are 0-3-0 so far this year under a fourth-year head coach in Shani Paul, who will try and right the ship after what has been a very tough start for the Cougars to start this year. Of course, coming off of their least impressive game overall in a 12-0 loss to the University of Chicago, number 15 University of Chicago, I should mention, back on September the 8th. And this North Park University team, after starting off 1-0-1, they have lost two in a row, most notably in their last game played back on Wednesday against Hope College when they were shut out 6-0. Overall, for this Cougars team, the number one thing to focus on for these girls today is to find the back of the net and put on as much pressure as they possibly can on the back line of the Vikings defenders. That will certainly be prevalent today. And a couple of these starters, some of the most notable starters, such as Juliana Paulson and Malika Kenworthy, once again on the front lines. On top of that, of course, Allie Brown, who has played all 270 minutes so far this year, as the ball start with North Park and quickly cleared down into the Cougar zone. Very humid day here today in River Forest, Illinois. 75 degrees. Feels like 82 on the playing surface here on this Saturday afternoon of soccer. It's been quite a while since the last time that North Park played Concordia Chicago, dating back to September the 1st, 2015. And they have certainly had their way with these Cougars in their school history, dating back to their first matchup in 2001. Vikings are 5-0 lifetime against these Cougars. This, of course, being their sixth matchup between these two teams. Something that head coach Shani Paul will certainly like to see her girls get into today is, talked about it just moments ago at the top of the broadcast, trying to accumulate a lot more offensive output in the defensive end of North Park, as there is a long kick put on by Paige Falkenstern, who is getting her first start of the season as the starting right wing today for Concordia Chicago. Talk about shot on goals overall for this Concordia Chicago team. They averaged 8.5 over their first two games of the year, but were only able to put up one shot on goal in their last game against the University of Chicago. Took until the 50-minute mark of the second half for Itzel Calderon to pump out a 25-yard volley onto the net. So certainly one shot on goal will certainly not get the job done today for the Cougars. As just 2 minutes into this one, they already have their first shot on goal, so that will certainly be something to pay attention to going forward. And an interesting lineup change, getting her first start in net this year for the Cougars, will be Morgan Sims, the junior from Winter Springs, Florida, getting the start for Cassie Salenzi. Salenzi, who has started the first three games this year for Concordia Chicago. Sims certainly got a lot of playing time last game on a combination of, unfortunately, a lot of goals being accumulated in the first half against University of Chicago, and Salenzi also leaving in the back half of the first half in that game due to what was a lower leg injury at the time. She eventually came back on and played half of the second half for the Cougars back on Wednesday. Goalkeeper today, and Emily LaSalle, also the backup goalkeeper for North Park, as Campbell Hunt, who has been a freshman stud for the Vikings so far this year, who leads the Vikings in save percentage, saves over two starts, Might see some action in the second half, but so far today, head coach Emma Woodley deciding to start LaSalle here today in just her second start this year. Vikings in the all-black with the gold trim, working the ball around right past midfield, now towards the back line. Ball comes close side over to number 19 and Lynn Norquist. Talk about some international recruiting. 3 international players a part of this North Park University roster. Norquist, of course, being one of them. And right next to her defensively also is Lena Bog. Both young ladies from Sweden, both from different parts. One from Sundbyberg, the other from Stockholm. And, of course, arguably the star player on this team so far this year for the Vikings, and Ida Elise from Asker, Norway, the 5'6" sophomore forward. Currently the leading goal scorer for North Park with 2 goals. Leading port recipient with 3 overall. LaSalle clears this one away. Falkenstern far side will watch that one sail out. Far side for the Vikings. Talked about Allie Brown at the top of the broadcast, logging every minute played so far in 3 regulation games for Concordia Chicago up to this point, playing in all 270 minutes. And right on cue, far side with her neon green cleats as always. Right in the middle of the action on top of that. Another starter today for the Cougars in number 9, Carissa Walters, getting her 4th start. Her also has played every minute so far this year for the Cougars, as Calderon trying to advance it and gets tackled hard right around the midfield area by Agnes Boland. First free kick given to Concordia Chicago this afternoon at the 39-minute mark here in the first half today. Brown tries to scissor kick a shot on net, and just getting a paw on that one was LaSalle. Initially read that kick wrong as that one started to slice towards the back left corner of the net, and somehow LaSalle was just able to get a fingernail on that one to direct it out of play and keep the Cougars off the scoreboard. Brown still in search, of course, of her first goal this year. Just 1 goal put in the back of the net through the first 3 games for Concordia Chicago. That lone tally coming just a week ago today from Grace Gladowski. An unlikely goal source for this Cougars offense. That came against Lake Forest last Saturday. Ball being moved around from far side now to close side. Valeria Fernandez now working her way around right around the 40-yard marker. Touch pass to Brown. Good look at Megan Wilkinson. Her getting her 4th start here today, the sophomore from Georgetown, Kentucky. Wilkinson and Walters arguably the 2 most prominent defenders on the back line for the Cougars. Itzel Calderon, of course, as well, as she was a all-conference mention last year in the NCAA. That one out past the back line, now brought out by LaSalle. This being the 4th straight non-conference game today for Concordia Chicago. They will eventually start conference play on September the 15th against Benedictine this upcoming Wednesday. Cougars in dire need of getting into the win column. Last time they picked up a home victory was earlier on this year, of course, in the COVID-switched schedule in the NCAA, as well as most of the entire country, is a very hard tackle there by number 11 in Ida Elise. No foul call for the time being, as Sims will have her first opportunity to gobble up a shot on net today. Talking more about the last time that the Cougars were victorious here at Concordia Stadium was earlier on this year, back on March the 31st against Aurora University in a 2-0 shutout victory. Of course, the Cougars only playing 10 games last year due to the COVID-19 abbreviated season, as Kenworthy nearly had a opportunity there out in front of the net. So that will now be granted to the Vikings. Play broken up by Nordquist once again. The leading left defensive back for North Park. Ball now being moved around far side by Gladowski. Tough tackle there from Kenworthy, as a foul will be called on one of the leading forwards for this Concordia Chicago attack, the 5'8" freshman from New Lenox, Illinois, the Lincoln Way Central High School product. Falkenstern has that one ricochet off her body and towards the Cougars bench far side. Something that Shani Paul usually tends to do quite a bit is her starters will certainly get a majority of minutes in the first half. Then, of course, she definitely enjoys utilizing her bench as much as possible. Strength in numbers for this Cougars team. So that one nearly got away from Lily Diller. One of the first substitutions today for North Park. A midfielder now playing in the backfield for the Vikings. This one sent away as Wilkinson will try to get this one back to Sims. She cannot, and that one will luckily gets sent towards the right side, as that could have been disaster and led to an easy first opportunity for the Vikings, as Wilkinson cannot muster up a strong enough kick back towards Sims. That almost led to a wide open opportunity for Ellie Dash, the Nashville, Tennessee native, for her having her first goal of the year. First corner kick today for either side, as that one will be good for 3 points for the Vikings. No goals as of yet, however. Obviously the most important thing to keep track of here today. Sims reassuring Wilkinson right there before she gets ready to clear this one away. The defenders, the starting defenders today for Concordia Chicago, certainly have played a lot of minutes so far this year, as typically they do, in the combination of Wilkinson, Walters, Fernandez. And then, of course, you could throw Itzel Calderon and Allie Brown into that mix as well. Both young ladies being listed as midfielders, although they certainly do spend a majority of their time in the defensive end. Really have to wonder how many miles alone that some of these players for the Cougars have accumulated, such as Allie Brown, who is obviously a part of the action on both sides of the field, playing every minute for the Cougars this year. Her own personal track team so far this year for Brown. Falkenstern tries to center towards the middle for Calderon. Wilkinson trying to come over close side right around midfield. That one will stay in play and is able to evade Ellie Dash. An incredible move there from Wilkinson. Fortunately, it goes for naught as the Vikings will try to work something up the close side. Calderon playing close. Intended pass broken up by Brown. Brown, the St. Louis, Missouri native, working at far side. The recipient of just one goal last year, despite leading the Cougars in minutes played. Very obvious what the plan of attack is here today for the Cougars offensively here in this first half through the first 15 minutes or so, trying to work the far side of the field, trying to center it towards the middle. But every pass that has gone in that general direction has quickly been swatted out by the Vikings. Talking about the Vikings and what they've accomplished so far this year going through their schedule, they've faced similar opponents that the Cougars will eventually face down the line in their season this year. Ball now being worked around. Kick perfectly set up and just to the right of Sims and out of play. Shot on goal there from Marta Holgard. Holgard, another Swedish-born product for the Vikings. Talking more about this North Park schedule, they started off their season against Aurora University, tying after not just one, but two overtimes. So after their tired legs on Wednesday, after accumulating over 180 minutes of play in that game, just 48 hours later, they had to turn things around and face Rockford University at their home complex at Holmgren Athletic Complex in Chicago. Picked up their first victory of the year in a 2-0 victory with Campbell Hunt starting and playing every minute in net, recording the first shutout of the year for the Vikings. And ever since then, the magic has all of a sudden ran out for this Vikings team, especially offensively, as they have been held scoreless over their last two contests. Good clear by the Vikings. Valeria Fernandez decided to chip this one out of play. That will stay in possession of the Vikings. A corner kick, their second from that spot, will be put into play. Ball cleared out by Carissa Walters, one of the stud defensemen for the Cougars so far this year. Cougars trying to work it out. Vikings looking to keep it in. And they do before Wilkinson clears it out past midfield. This Vikings offensive attack has certainly been more prevalent in terms of goals scored and more opportunities created compared to Concordia Chicago. This Vikings offensive attack, of course, led by Ida Elise and Ellie Dash, averaging 12 shots per game. Averaging less than a goal scored per game, however, at .75. All three of the goals they've scored this year, however, have all been assisted upon. Headbutt. Over towards the left wing, towards Kenworthy. Who will quickly knock this one back out of play. One thing that has certainly been an issue for North Park through their first 3 games this year. 4 games, I should say. Has been the amount of fouls they've accumulated, 35 fouls through their first 4 games. Right around 7 fouls per game committed. Elise trying to center it, and Sims coming far out of her goal keep to swallow that one up. Sims, who appeared in just 2 matches in 2019 for the Cougars, recorded just 2 saves over 60 minutes of work. She lettered in soccer all 4 years at Winterland Springs High School in Winter Springs, Florida. Vikings getting ready to clear this one away, and they do. Far side for North Park, and here they come. One thing that the Cougars have done very well defensively, as the words are taken right out of my mouth by that great tackle there. Far side by the Cougars. Their physicality has been here for the first 20 minutes in this first half today. They've also shored up a lot of the passing lanes, a lot of the marks across midfield, not allowing a lot of passes to get through for the Vikings. However, just 1 shot for the Cougars so far today through the first 20 minutes of play, and that has continued to be an issue. After starting off the first 2 games recording 9 shots and then following it by 8 in their game against Lake Forest after their opening game. As Katana Watson now checks into the game for the first time. Watson, a freshman defender from Oak Park, Illinois, attending Oak Park River Forest High School. Cougars now backpedaling right around midfield. Kenworthy, who has not seen too much action so far. Kenworthy close side now over to Valeria Fernandez with a very hard trip there on Fernandez. And right in the middle of the action, as always, is Ida Elisa. Good opportunity for a free kick here from Wilkinson. Let's see what she can do. As that one will twist out of play. Arguably one of the best opportunities that the Cougars will have for a shot on net here in this first half. North Park trying to create some momentum. And a lot of the energy that this Vikings team brings is by their first full-year head coach, and Emma Woodley was originally hired back in November of 2020. But North Park last year, of course, not playing due to COVID-19 circumstances. Woodley, who is a former 2015 North Park University Female Athlete of the Year, was a 4-year letter winner for NPU and earned all College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin recognition. Was the first time a Viking to be named to the first team all conference of Illinois and Wisconsin in over 15 years. So a decorated athlete in Woodley, who was a predominant goal scorer back in her day. As that attempted shot on net was quickly broken up by the back line of the Vikings. Still keeping it in play close on. Talking more about their decorated head coach, Emma Woodley. She is the all-time single-season record holder for goals scored in her senior season for the Vikings, and where she scored a school-leading 17 goals in 2014. Also led the league, not just her team, in points with 37, and had 29 total goals in totality for NPU over her illustrious 4-year career. And now quickly, 7 years later, now the head coach of the female program at North Park. Talking about the Vikings this year, of course, 1-2-1 coming into play today. Currently ranked 5th out of 9 qualified teams in the College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin. One thing to certainly note for this Vikings team today that the Cougars, I'm sure, have this in the back of their minds, is that the Vikings have certainly struggled on the road, to say the least, as they have not won a road game since 2018. October the 14th, 2018 to be exact, was the last time these Vikings won a game away from Holmgren Athletic Complex. Cleared away once again by LaSalle. Excellent clear. Not too often do you see too many clears just out in front of the penalty box, past the midfield marker here at Concordia Stadium. Watson trying to get to this one. Far side she does. And attempts to get a shot on goal as it goes wide behind the net. First time a little bit of wind blows through the playing surface here today at Concordia Stadium. Weather is certainly misleading today, a humid one to say the least. Hydration will certainly be a priority. A lot of calories will be lost. Not just for the girls on the playing surface, but I'm certain the fans in the stands as well. Bucket hats and umbrellas in full effect here today on a beautiful, sunshiny day here in River Forest. As Kenworthy will try to track this one down, and she cannot get there in time. Brown holding the ball right around midfield. Tries connecting with Watson before that one is quickly broken up. Watson with some of the better speed for the Cougars, listed as a defenseman on the active roster for Concordia Chicago. However, she is starting, I should say substituting in the place of Paige Falkenstern on the far right wing. Falkenstern getting her first start today as Brittany Chancellor, who did get the start last game against the University of Chicago. Just a substitute today. This one cannot clear out of the zone of the Vikings as Kenworthy gets laid out by Clara Wernball. Close side. A lot of open space. As an ill-advised pass there from Lucia Falone gets broken up. Falone with a lot of open space. Time of attack for Concordia Chicago in this first half has certainly toppled what North Park has been able to produce. Unfortunately, nothing as of yet. Sometimes that's all it takes. And soccer is just one opportunity. Cougars in their usual 4-4-2 formation. Vikings coming out in the same formation as well, more of a modern-day approach with 4 defenders, 4 midfielders, and 2 attackers. A common approach put out by Shani Paul, of course, in her 4th year, was eventually brought on to this women's soccer program back in November of 2017. Coach Paul, who made an immediate impact on this Cougar soccer program in her 1st year in 2018, included a NACC tournament appearance. However, her coaching days, of course, go back a little bit before her time here at Concordia Chicago, began her collegiate coaching as a graduate assistant at Capital University in Ohio in 2014. At the time, Capital University was certainly a powerhouse in the Ohio Athletics Conference as they eventually went on to have a 16-6-2 record and eventually made it to the conference championship and made a bid to the Division III NCAA National Tournament. After Paul's tenure at Capital University, eventually went on to Rhodes College in Memphis, Tennessee for 1 year in 2017 and led the Lynx to a winning record and eventually finishing 3rd in the Southern Athletic Association. Sims will collect that. Sims has done a nice job of being very active in net so far today. Nice to see that Sims has not had to deal with too much of a workload in this first half today. Unfortunately, unlike the onslaught that came upon Cassie Salenzi in the Cougars' most recent loss after a 7-goal first half, she was tested just about every time that the Maroons touched the ball. Centering pass. Gets through for the time being, but Wilkinson is the last one to touch it. Kenworthy, who's been out there for every minute of this first half, now playing back defensively. Fighting for it. In Madeline Loza. Loza now in the sophomore from Cicero, Illinois. A tweener at midfielder and forward. Hard tackle out in front of the net. Now will be given to the Cougars. Right around 11 minutes left here in this first half of action today. Cougars with just 2 shots so far in this first half, 3 for North Park. Talked about the overall dominance of North Park. And, of course, their small sample size of 5 total matchups over the course of 20 years between these two schools. Cougars scoring just twice in 5 career matchups, looking for their first strike here in the first half today. Kenworthy trying to center towards midfield, and a rough attempt at that headbutt for the Vikings over the middle of the field. Watson pushing it up far side. Centering pass towards the front of the net. And quickly gathered up by LaSalle and Ned Kenworthy. About a step or two away from possibly pushing a shot on net, if not a shot past LaSalle. So certainly the biggest thing to note for this Cougars team has been their time on attack on offense. They have certainly looked more than up to the task today against the Vikings. Passes have looked a lot more crisp, hitting their marks in between passing lanes so far in this first half. Fernandez quickly gets stuffed, but is able to keep it in front of her and tiptoe her way around a few defenders before eventually being broke up by Elise. And that should stay in possession of Concordia Chicago. It does. Fernandez looking to toss it into the field of play. An endless supply of soccer balls being provided towards Fernandez. Falone pushing up close side. Good touch pass to Kenworthy. She does keep it in play. Shot put towards the net, but centering around the back. Madeline Loza with that most recent shot towards the goal. Loza once again on the prowl. Gets it up to Kenworthy. Wasn't able to do anything with that. Corner kick now for Olivia Eriksson. Once again, another Swedish-born product. Loza trying to knock it down far side corner, too far for the liking of Watson, who has seen her fair share of minutes here in the first half today. Concordia Chicago coming into play today. 9th in their conference out of 14 qualifying teams. One of 6 teams in their conference still looking for their first victory of the year in regulation. Cleared out by LaSalle after Lucia Floan was able to get the first shot on goal for the Cougars. Right around the 6-minute mark here in the first half today. Watson and Kenworthy trying to keep it alive, and that nearly finds the top right corner of the goal for Watson. A very tough angle for her close corner. Was nearly able to steer that one back around. That would have been a goal for the ages if that was a couple feet more to the left. That will just trickle out of play. Dash deciding to drop it off. Vikings, who have not been on the offensive attack since right around the 13-minute mark here of the first half. It's either been predominantly in their end or right around the midfield marker, have not reached the 20-yard marker on the Cougar side of the field in over 10 minutes. Madeline Georgopoulos now getting her first minutes of the game as the last couple moments tick down here in the first half today. Cleared out by the Vikings far side. Under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Cougars have certainly applied a lot of pressure. Bigger opportunity that went by the boards came way back one, right around the 35-minute mark in the first half, with Ellie Dash had a wide-open one-on-one opportunity with Morgan Sims, who was unable to convert for the Vikings. That could, of course, go down as their potential best opportunity to find the back of the net in this game. Cougars have certainly had their chances. Doubling the shot total of North Park in this first half, and talked about the fouls that have been committed by the Vikings coming into play, right around 7 per game. They already have 5 in the first half today. That has given the Cougars a couple of good opportunities at the net with free kicks, of course, primarily in their zone. Ball worked around, finding the front foot of Fernandez. Close side to Elisa. Combination of heat certainly has to play a factor towards the winding minutes in the end of this first half. The 15-minute intermission coming up next will certainly be welcomed with open arms for both sides. Walters doing an excellent job of breaking up that intended pass, and now we'll go on the attack herself, far side. Cannot connect with Watson. Down into the corner. One lone black jersey in Ellie Dash, far side. Fernandez clearing that one down. Lead pass to Kenworthy. Eventually tipped out by Nordqvist of North Park. Under 30 seconds to go in this first half. Cougars will certainly like to try and get something towards the middle of the field and get a last-second kick towards the net to try and put some pressure on LaSalle. Have to get it over the middle of the field first. And it looks like that will not be the case, as that will conclude matters here in the first half today, as North Park and Concordia Chicago are both scoreless after the first half today. The Cougars doubling up on the total shots at 4-2 against the Vikings. They've certainly had their opportunities, as the Cougars have nearly doubled their minutes and time of attack on the Cougars. Let's see if they can capitalize with their first goal coming up in the second half, just a few moments away. Back here live at Concordia Stadium for the second half of action today between the North Park University Vikings and, of course, the Concordia Chicago Cougars. After a scoreless first half, both teams switching sides. And we start the second half with a different starter on the close side in Katana Watson, with how ferocious she was in the first half, certainly impressing the eyes of head coach Shani Paul for Concordia Chicago. She is getting the start here in the second half over Paige Falkenstern. So something to look at going forward. Quickly broken up by the Vikings. For those that missed the first half of action today, didn't miss too much action overall, as it was more of a defensively well-played half, especially from Concordia Chicago, as they only allowed in totality 2 shots. None of them reaching the net. 2 overall clears by the Vikings. For the Cougars on net, the only shot on goal, however, that the Cougars were able to put together was by Lucia Falone right around the 27-minute mark in the first half. 4 shots in totality. One thing that North Park will have to do going forward here in the second half today is try and cut down on their fouls, especially in their end, as 3 free kicks were issued in their own territory. A couple of very good opportunities for the Cougars cannot be cashed in. Allie Brown working it up, far side for the Cougars. Eventually volleyed back down by the Vikings. After the conclusion of this game today overall for North Park, their next upcoming game will be this Wednesday against Lake Forest College, of course. The Cougars playing Lake Forest a week ago from today in a 3-1 losing effort. Defense is unable to clear it for the Vikings, as that one is eventually knocked out off the leg of Carissa Walters of the Cougars. So that nearly could have been a disaster. For Concordia Chicago, first corner kick this half for the Vikings. Right out in front of the net, the headbutt opportunity goes right into the hands of Morgan Sims, who had a very good first half, of course, keeping the Vikings off the scoreboard. And the opportunities that did come her way. Vikings once again trying to conjure up something offensively. Quickly broken up over the middle, and that will certainly be something of emphasis for this defensive group going forward for Concordia Chicago here in the second half. So do exactly what they did in the first half, and that is eliminate the centering passes brought from the wings over towards the front of the net. In terms of their physicality, this might be one of the best games that the Cougars have played so far this year in terms of their physical presence for playing on the ball, as Sims will decide to clear this one out. Get to right around the 40-yard marker before Kitana Watson tries to dribble it up close side. Good overhead toss right over to Juliana Paulson. Calderon now fighting for, and Allie Brown has some wide open space to work close side. Getting it up over to Watson, who gets a shot on net. Fortunately, right in the path of Emily LaSalle. LaSalle with a big boot and an excellent clear all the way down the field. Not too often do you see that clearing from one end to the other. If the Cougars are able to find the back of the net at some point today, with the way their defense has looked and the way that Morgan Sims has looked in net, she could be on pace to recording her first victory in net for the Cougars. Cougars pushing it up, far side pulse, unable to get to that. As that one gets by Walters, and now a full head of steam comes the Vikings, a wide open 2-0 attack. Cougars trying to get there in time as that one rattles around and falls into the back of the net, as Carissa Walters was unable to keep that clear in front of her, and it became a wide open opportunity for North Park to take a 1-0 lead here in the second half. Morgan Sims being just 5'2", nearly impossible for her to attempt to leap up and bring that one down. The only saving grace at first glance was hitting the top of the crossbar before ricocheting down and eventually rattled into the back of the net. So for the first time in 5 halves, dating over 2.5 games, the Vikings are in the score column, courtesy of who else but Ida Elise, who now has the team-leading third goal of the year for the Vikings. Talked about Elise's prowess coming into this game today. Came in leading her team with 2 goals, 1 game-winning goal, and 2 assists, and 12 shots in totality through her first 4 games. Spoke upon this earlier in the first half. Despite the Vikings clearly being outplayed by the Cougars in that first half, unfortunately the Cougars did not have a goal to show for it. As here comes Glodowski with a lot of space over the middle of the field before eventually being broken up. Brown gets tossed to the playing surface on a rough tackle there from Elise. But I was speaking about just one golden opportunity for either team can certainly decide this game and can't ask for a better opportunity. Than what North Park just received a couple moments ago. Once again, the Cougars playing behind the 8 ball. Only bright side of things is that they do have a lot of time on the clock to try and whittle their way back into this game. Wilkinson is able to advance this, tries to put a shot on net. Act 1 of that was excellent. Act 2 on the kick, not so accurate for one of the leading defensemen on this Concordia Chicago roster. And Wilkinson, the 5'3" sophomore from Scott County High School in Georgetown, Kentucky. Wilkinson, that being her second shot today. Attempted talking about her a little bit more. She started in just 1 match last season. Attempted 3 shots, 2 of them were on goal. She's already attempted 2 shots, let alone today. Was a 4-year varsity letter winner in 2017 Varsity Offensive Player of the Year, in 2019 Varsity MVP at Scott County High School, of course, for soccer. Ironically enough, though, talking about Wilkinson in general, talking about her off the field, things that she enjoys, her favorite movie does not have anything to do with soccer. If anything, it's the exact opposite. That being The Sandlot being her favorite movie. Elise outrunning everyone close side for the Vikings, but unable to track that one down. Clearly exhausted after going on a full sprint about 50 yards. down the close sideline. Whistle blown. Foul will be called on the play. That looks like a penalty will indeed be called on Concordia Chicago. That foul happening right around the 20-yard marker. So the Cougars will have to stand tall here as this free kick for Agnes Bolin will about to be set away. And a great job from Itzel Calderon to stop a golden opportunity for the time being. Sims with the clear. Another whistle blown and another foul called. After having just 2 fouls in the first half of today's game, the Cougars have accumulated 2 in a matter of 30 seconds. Lena Bogg, the freshman defenseman from Sundjenberg, Sweden, attempts to center this one and cannot do so. Before North Park had that tally earlier on here in the second half from Ida Elise. Cougars currently in a scoring drought of their own as well. So they have now gone 3 full halves, 180 minutes plus without recording a goal. Last time, and the only one they scored this year, back on September the 5th in the first half against Lake Forest. An equalizer from Grace Gladowski. Overhead pass into play. And it's really been a tale of 2 different halves up to this point, as the Vikings have predominantly brought a lot more energy and a lot more offensive firepower here in the second half. That'll eventually be cleared out. Getting a good look at Carissa Walters, the senior from Zeeland, Michigan. Getting ready to clear this one away. Walters, like she's done every game this year, has played every minute so far today for the Cougars. Wilkinson tries to get this one out of the backside for the Cougars, as a door may have opened up here for Concordia Chicago as Brown dribbles it up over towards Watson. Close side. Watson stays on her feet. Who will this be granted to is the question. It looks like it will stay in Concordia Chicago's possession. Certainly don't want to get into a scrum anytime soon with Kitana Watson at 5'6". Certainly a great blend of speed and strength for the Cougars. Gladowski will be asked to toss this one in. Kept in. Vikings are slowly starting to make some momentum on trying to clear it out of their own end on 4 consecutive outs from Ida Elise. Bringing it up over the middle was Aliyah Durkovic. Before that hard tackle. Breaks things up once again. Free kick right around the 45-yard marker for Megan Wilkinson. Walters close side. It's eventually knocked out by Elisa, who once again for the Vikings has done just about everything. What she means to North Park is pretty much what Allie Brown means to this Concordia Chicago team. Almost like a Swiss Army knife that can do just a little bit of everything for the Vikings. Then she dropped out in front of net. Lynn Norqvist ready to send this one away. Wilkinson trying to break things up, and she cannot. Wide open Viking out in front is Elisa, and a great job out over by the front of the net to break that up by Concordia Chicago on what could have been another wide open goal scoring opportunity for North Park. Falone keeping this one in the field of play. Touch pass over to Brown. Cougars have a lot of space in the middle of the field. Falone trying to set things up, trying to break the middle of the defense, as that is a hard tackle inside of the penalty box for Lucia Falone. As the referees in the stands letting their thoughts out here today at Concordia Stadium, what they certainly thought should have been a penalty kick for Lucia Falone. Kicking this one away will be Madeline Loza. And some movement in the penalty box will now create an opportunity for the Cougars on the PK. So if a PK is issued here to Concordia Chicago, will be their first opportunity this year for a penalty kick. And this is exactly what the doctor ordered for Concordia Chicago. Madeline Loza will be chosen as the golden kicker to try and create the equalizer here for the Cougars. First time this year that Concordia Chicago has been placed in this opportunity. Cougars looking to evaporate their scoring drought. LaSalle Looking to anticipate the kick from Loza. Here it comes, and it finds the back of the net. The PK equalizer for Madeline Loza. And the Cougars have knotted things up here in half number 2. Just what the doctor ordered for the Cougars offensively as that ends their scoring drought dating back to last Saturday. Cue the celebration, Chelsea Dagger in full effect, and the Cougars are right back in this game. So just the second goal this year. For Concordia Chicago. Madeline Loza with her first goal of the year. As Kenworthy is tripped up far side. Tackle was clean. Cougars statistically today have outplayed North Park in just about every category up to this point. More shots on goal. They have halved their foul total compared to North Park at an 8-4 margin. And now are once again trying to conjure something up from the far corner of the field. One of the most, if not the most exciting thing in soccer, certainly a penalty kick being issued. And this Cougars team, now certainly more energetic than they have been just about this entire year. That one is sent away. Vikings now, after taking a early second half lead on the, at the time was the goal-ahead goal by Ida Elise. Well, now and try to put something together. Talked about the shots in total for North Park coming into this game today at a 1-2-1 margin, averaging 12 shots per game, only 3 of them being on net, however. Right around 3.5 shots per game on net. Only 4 shots today and only 2 of them finding themselves on goal. So a wildly inaccurate offensive team for the most part for North Park. Now with just 4 goals through this being their 5th game played this year. Right around the halfway mark here in this second half today. Working it over far side is number 9 and Clara Vernbo. Vernbo eventually lost control. Foul called on her. Far side midfield. Cougars pushing right through before eventually being shot right out. Wilkinson and now Calderon looking for it before getting it to Brown. Over the middle of the field, Glodowski close side. right through the wickets of Elisa before being able to catch up to that. 3-on-2 attack. Shot wide right of the net. Marta Holtgard with that attempted shot. Going back on a point made a few moments ago, talking about the inaccuracy of shots being put on net by the Vikings this year. Another good opportunity for the Vikings. Goes by the boards. Christina Sajak now in the game for Itzel Calderon. This one centered on front of the net. Too much time trying to work with things before Brown pounced all over. Another opportunity. As that opportunity for Olivia Erickson was a golden opportunity for her to try and find the back of the net for a go-ahead goal here late in the second half. Hard push off there. Close side from number 23. And Lydia Forsberg, the defenseman from Vanjesborg, Sweden. First foul called on her today. Watson has certainly been able to handle the physicality very well. Starting at right wing here in the second half. Although Paige Falkenstern is now back in over on the left side in for Malika Kenworthy. Cleared out by LaSalle, and she has done an excellent job being able to push the back line of Concordia Chicago as far back as they can go on some of her clears today. Lucia Falone now back out. One of the star midfielders for this Cougars team. Sky high kick right around midfield. Blazing speed by Loza. Or Falona, I should say, before Brown gets tripped up. And that'll be foul number 11 here today for North Park, as they are one foul away from tying their season high. Certainly a ton of physicality here today, a lot of illegal physicality. And that could, of course, lead to their demise. As, of course, the penalty kick issued to Madeline Loza just a few moments ago allowed the equalizer in today's game. Midfield for North Park far side. Pushing the tempo is Vernbow being able to get around. Vernbow trying to do this all herself before centering it to the front of the net, and it finds the back left part of the goal for the Vikings. And as quickly as Concordia Chicago finds the equalizer, the Vikings strike right back and take a 2-1 lead. Clara Vernbow with an excellent assist, working from right around midfield, going up far side, being able to help create that scoring opportunity right out in front. And at the 17:43 mark, the Vikings, for the second time this year, have found the back of the net twice in a game. The last time they were able to score 2 goals in a game, they won their only game in regulation against Aurora University back on September the 5th. That goal centered up by Vernbow was eventually finished home by Abigail Balmaceda. Balmaceda now with her second goal of the year. The freshman forward from Chicago, Illinois, attended Von Steuben High School. North Park setting up for a corner kick. Good looking one out in front as Sims bats it out. She's unable to collect it. And luckily is pushed away. Far side right around the 10-yard marker. Don't know if that was exactly Morgan Sims' intention in net to do that, but for the time being it's mildly effective before eventually heading out right around the 30-yard marker. Vikings and Cougars tied with 6 shots and 3 shots on goal apiece. However, the goal from Balmaceda is currently the game winner in position for the time being, with 15:30 left to go here in the second half today. And ticking, as this has certainly been the most competitive game that the Cougars have played up to this point, this being game number 4 for them this year. Although starting the year 0-3, not too many room for moral victories for Shani Paul. That attempted shot goes wide, back out towards the back line. Couple starters now coming back into the game, and Itzel Calderon and Malika Kenworthy now substituting themselves back in. Under 15 minutes to go here in the second half, and of course you can bet that Kenworthy and Calderon, if something were to happen for the Cougars in the last 14 minutes and change, they will certainly be in the middle of that action. Walters trying to run this one down for the Cougars on the back end. Biggest thing for Concordia Chicago, of course, going forward is, of course, being able to create as many offensive opportunities and shots on net as possible. Free kick. And in very good position for North Park, right around the 20. Being set in by the Vikings out towards the front of the net. Quickly broken up by Brown. I've talked about the overall prowess of Allie Brown and how much she has meant to this Concordia Chicago team dating back to her strong freshman season last year. She was actually named NACC South Co-Freshman of the Year following her first year last year for the Cougars, playing nearly every minute for Concordia Chicago. Time continues to tick for the Cougars as the Vikings will try and play keep away and put on as much pressure as they can on the Cougars. 12 minutes, still a ton of time left for Concordia Chicago. However, they have not recorded a shot on goal since the Loza goal back early on here in the second half at the 64:06 mark. It's been over 10 minutes since the last time the Cougars were able to get a shot anywhere on net. Falone fighting for it. Wilkinson trying to help her out far side. Trying to dangle her way out of danger is Balmaceda, far side, who has been the difference maker so far here today in half number 2. Calderon now trying to catch up to Balmaceda. Push down the far right side, and that one will trickle out of play back towards the back line. Positive news is that Sims will be granted a new ball, and for the time being will be in possession of the Cougars. Looks like Sims will end up clearing this one out once again. Decided to come close side to try and get it to one of her leading defensive backs so they could work it up the field. Allie Brown trying to push the tempo far side. Lead pass to Falkenstern. Falkenstern in her baby blue cleats. Centers it to Brown, who gets absolutely rocked right outside the penalty box. Brown has certainly felt a ton of physicality as that one looked like a pretty severe push-off right out in front of the penalty box, right around the 15-yard line. So a clean tackle was ruled. Loza trying to center it out in front of the net and pokes it through! The equalizer part 2. As Malika Kenworthy finds the back of the net for the first time this year and ties the score at 2 here in the second half. First time this year that Concordia Chicago has been able to find the back of the net twice in a single game. An excellent centering pass towards the front of the net. That eventually set up that Kenworthy score. That goal coming at the 80-minute and 27-second mark here in the second half. Kenworthy, the regional champion at Lincoln Way Central High School, playing in her first year here at Concordia Chicago as a freshman, her first career collegiate goal. Cannot have come at a better time for the Cougars. A ton of action going on in this second half. 4 goals in totality, of course, being split down the middle, both sides. Cougars have certainly made the most out of their opportunities today. Biggest question for the remaining 8 minutes or so left in the second half is how strong can the back line for the Cougars be? As the Vikings have certainly brought a ton of pressure here in the second half as one of the more versatile and lengthier players for Concordia Chicago and Keitana Watson will now enter back in. Watson now centered up in front of Sims out in front of the net. As this one is now broken up far side for Falone. Falone with a hard tackle, making her presence felt, a illegal move for Falone. Goals being scored in bunches here in the second half. Cougars would love nothing more than to finish this one off in regulation. However, if they do push things in overtime here today, they will be granted, of course, their first point of the year. Inbound to close side. Watson, the newly entered substitute, as Brown dribbles it up over towards Kenworthy. Of course, responsible for this game, being where it's currently at, with the equalizer just a few moments ago. A four-part scrum close side before Kenworthy clears it out towards the back line. Both goalkeepers still staying in net from the start of this game. Morgan Sims, of course, for Concordia Chicago, and Emily LaSalle in net today for the Vikings. Talked about at the top of the broadcast, interesting choice for head coach Emma Woodley to not start Campbell Hunt, the star freshman from West Richland, Washington. Could possibly, of course, be a rest day for Hunt. Watson with the inbound over to Brown. Tries to center it for Calderon. Chasing this one down right around the 20. Wilkinson volleys it towards the front. Brown gets right in the middle of it, retains it for the Cougars. Another hard hit for Lena Bogg right over the middle of the playing surface. That broke up that Brown opportunity. Walters keeping the action alive for the Cougars. Walters trying to get that one up to Kenworthy. She does. Excellent lead pass about 20 yards out. Now an opportunity coming over the middle of the field, dangling her way around is Vernbow. Vernbow still going all the way to the front of the net. Can she get a shot on? She cannot. No whistle is blown. And the North Park bench cannot believe it. The Viking bench exploded after the hit that was put on from Itzel Calderon on to Clara Vernbow just moments ago. Cougars trying their hardest to clear this one out of their own end. Over the middle of the field. Loza, the lone offensive attacker for the Cougars, as Brown gets in the middle of the action. Finds a nice lead pass far side. Very hard tackle far side. And that will be nothing but a common foul Nothing issued on the extremely hard hit to Itzel Calderon. A ton of physical play here today, as that is foul number 13 for the Vikings. A new season low or high, whichever way you'd like to view that count. Free kick being granted to Wilkinson as the Cougars and Vikings both trying to get into their set formations. Free kick right behind the 30-yard marker, about a 33-yard volley that will try and find its way in front of the net. But before that, the ref trying to get qualification on the formation that they're looking for out front. Loza clearly frustrated. Free kick put on by Wilkinson. Far side of Georgiopolis. Another hard tackle. Right around 3 minutes to go in what has been a very exciting second half after a lackadaisical first half offensively. Concordia Chicago only putting up 4 shots, 1 on net, and North Park with 2 shots, neither of them finding a shot on net. Certainly been a ton of action here in this second half. And the Cougars are in prime position to try and take the lead for the first time here today. Headbutt brought up over the middle by Elisa. Great job by Kitana Watson to break up that potential opportunity. Around 2 minutes left to go here in the second half as LaSalle, which she's done all day today, has done an excellent job of clearing kicks away. Wilkinson decides to play this one instead of letting it roll towards Sims. For the time being, it looks like it might play out in her favor. This one will go back to the Vikings. Far side for North Park. Vikings looking to put up their 7th and potential final shot on net here in the second half. Unless the Cougars are unable to get this one back off the inbound from the Vikings. Be very tough for them to try and conjure up any more offense. High volley out in front of the net. Heads up play by Walters and Watson to let Sims come over and take matters in her own hands with under a minute to go in this 2-2 tie here in half number 2. Paulson right in the middle of that scrum far side. A huge laundry day will be issued to this Cougars team after this game is done today, win or loss. Certainly been a lot of energy and effort exerted today from Concordia Chicago, as they have certainly taken their lumps this afternoon. Clock continues to tick. As Paulson is unable to stay on her feet after breaking up that opportunity. And as this one continues to tick away, Sims might hold on to this one. As that will be the end of regulation here today, tied at 2. So for the first time this season, Concordia Chicago will find themselves heading into overtime And for North Park, this will be the second time that they will enter a overtime contest. It'll be the first time since they went into double overtime, September the 1st against Aurora University. And we will be right back with extra soccer action here today. Division III women's soccer, North Park University and Concordia, Chicago. Overtime action for the first time here at Concordia Stadium this afternoon after a very exciting second half of play that saw each school score 2 goals apiece. We enter the first overtime this year for the Cougars, the second for North Park University here on this Saturday afternoon edition of Division III women's soccer. Not too many lineup changes overall for Cougars head coach Shani Paul, as she is deciding to ride the hot hand of Katana Watson, however, after Watson was not labeled a starter here today. She started the second half and will continue to do so here into overtime number 1. Bringing it over the middle for the Vikings. Number 9 in Clara Vernbo, who certainly had a very adventurous second half with 2 fouls and an assist on, at the time being, what could have been the go-ahead goal. For those that missed that exciting second half of action, got things started with a breakaway opportunity for Ira Ilse, her 3rd goal of the year. A penalty kick, the first of the year, granted to Madeline Loza. Loza converted on that PK opportunity, tied the game at 1 for the aforementioned Balmaceda. Gave the Vikings the lead, and then at the 80-minute, 27-second mark, Malika Kenworthy, the freshman forward, grabbed her first goal of the year. Tied things at 2. Hard trip right outside of the penalty box, and a foul will be called on Concordia Chicago. So a good opportunity for a free kick. Thankfully, a couple yards outside of the penalty box, or that could have spelled a world of trouble for the Cougars. Concordia Chicago will try and create some stoppage out in front of the net. Morgan Sims, who has played this game from start to finish, anticipating the free kick by the Vikings. Here it comes. Great job by Watson with some fast feet out in front of the net. Cougars last year in their COVID-19 shortened season, where they only participated in 10 games, only had 1 of their games go to overtime. Eventually ended in a tie as that volley is shot up and over the crossbar. Ellie Dash with the shot over the goal. Dash with her 2nd shot today. Talking about those overall numbers for North Park and Concordia Chicago. North Park with the lead in the shot category, 8-7. However, the Cougars have had more shots on net in 4-3, which, of course, at the end of the day is the one that really matters, of course, next to the goal scored. More shots on net, more opportunity for the ball to find the back of the net. As Falkenstern working hard to keep that in her possession and keep it in bounds. Watch that one sail away towards Sims once more. Sims unable to clear that one out. Hopefully this does not come back to haunt the Cougars. Moved up over to Itzel Calderon. Calderon trying to break that one up. Instead, it's Allie Brown who's able to dislodge that one right around the 30-yard marker. Walters with a good lead pass to Falkenstern, who finds Brown. Brown with a nice touch pass to Calderon over the middle. Calderon trying to get something out in front of the net. Can Watson get there? She cannot. Emily LaSalle from start to finish, much like Concordia Chicago's goalkeeper Morgan Sims today. Looks like she will go every minute of action here today. And net. 2 saves for LaSalle on the day. Now we'll stay in possession of Concordia Chicago. After the conclusion of this game, Cougars will begin their conference play against Benedictine here at Concordia Stadium on Wednesday, and then of course play Edgewood College next Saturday on the 18th. 5 straight home games for the Cougars. Centered out in front of the net, Vikings with a wide open opportunity. Unable to convert is Ellie Dash. Out in front of the net once again. Cannot have asked for a more golden opportunity for the senior forward to try and give North Park their second victory of the year. Calderon tries clearing this one out. Vikings, however, very persistent. Have dominated time of possession. Here in this overtime. Good step up from Walters. And once again, Carissa Walters not allowing to get anything put on net towards Sims. Another corner kick opportunity for North Park today. This being their 5th corner kick. Out in front of the net, and the headbutt goes in, and that will do it. A game-winning goal in overtime for the visitors from North Park as the Vikings will celebrate off victorious here today at Concordia Stadium as valiantly as the Cougars fought this afternoon going into their first overtime this year. Right at the 2-minute marker in overtime, North Park edges themselves out with a game-winning goal here in overtime. That being their 10th and final shot on goal gives them a 3-2 victory here at Concordia Stadium this Saturday afternoon. And that will do it for today's action for Division III women's soccer as the visiting North Park University Vikings break up their 8-game road losing streak, pick up their first road win since October of 2018, and end up pushing the hometown Concordia Chicago Cougars to a 0-4 start to start their 2021 season. And that will do it. We'll catch you next time